was alert, pounced on it.
Well, there's a helmet to helmet, it looks like.
And remember, the new rule this year is that the replay booth can buzz down, and they can call targeting, even though it hasn't been called on the field. Dave Kataya is our rules expert in the booth. Dave, how do you see that if you were in the booth?
Well, you take a look at this. It's got to be obvious to replay. Let's take a look at this.
Oh,
there's a hit to helmet.
Wow.
I think that looks like targeting to me.
Not only that, I mean, he hits him in the face mask. He also lowers his helmet.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, is with the crown of the helmet.
Yeah.
I think that's a target.
That's one of the ones that goes on the film and what
Chris,
targeting is.
For fans that get confused by all this targeting and whether or not you're hitting a defenseless player, the important thing is, first of all, that Owusu is getting up, and that's the first priority. But the fact that it was not called on the field,
Yep.
for a lot of fans, they don't understand that replay can look at that and they can overrule and actually say, no, guys, there was helmet-to-helmet contact and make the call.
And Jerry Meyerhoff is the replay official who would make that call. Dave, they've changed the wording. You were telling us pregame. It's no longer an egregious error that they can call down and correct it. It's now more liberal standard, perhaps because of what happened in Notre Dame and Texas when it was not called.
They didn't change the wording in the rule book.
Rolling on the field was a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. Prior play is under further review.
Getting back to it, there's no rule book change. It still says.
Might have been the rule book, but
there's a new criteria, a more loose interpretation that says obvious, and if you can confirm it, you can't call it from the booth.
Dave, I know you and Rogers Redding and the group nationally look at these things. How often are we seeing the booth so far in the first 3 weeks actually call down and say, even though there's not a call on the field, guys, after what we've seen from upstairs, this was targeted? How often is that happening?
I haven't seen it. I've heard of a couple. I haven't personally seen it. You need to look at this as well. This may not even be a completed pass. Take a look at that. Let's look at the pass so we can see that.
Owusu being able to walk without wobbling, which is a good sign because it didn't look good coming off the field. They'll take and check him out. So there's two things to look at. Was it a catch and a fumble or an incomplete pass, and then was there targeting?
Let's see if he has possession of the ball, a football act, a turn, a step. He's got it right there. Let's see. That's a catch, definitely.
Yeah, that's a catch.
I talked to Jerry Meyerhoff, who is the replay official. He says that his crew personally has not buzzed down to call targeting from the booth yet, but it has happened a few times.
That's what David said. I was curious how many times it's happened. We're only 3 weeks into the season, so it's a handful of times.
Exactly.
There were two aspects during the play that were being reviewed. The ruling on the field was confirmed that the receiver caught the ball, became a runner. With respect to targeting, there was no targeting with the crown of the helmet. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands, interception, first down.
Wow. I don't know if David Shawcamp, but what do you have to do to get a targeting call from the booth?
Based on the replays I'm seeing, it looked like a hit with the helmet. There was a launch. Maybe they're seeing something different than I do, but I have targeting on that, folks.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Wow. It didn't get called in Austin, didn't get called here. We applaud the fact that you can make that call when the officials miss it, but you can never use it. Anyway.